Welcome to Moonlight Madness. Today we're doing another go once around the sun. We've had issues with technicalities and sound. We've got Mercury retrograde, so I shouldn't be surprised. So this is for fire signs, sun, moon and rising. And the run I just did was a good reading, but maybe this will come out differently. Okay, there's release. There's something that you're going to give a death to, whether it be a change in how you approach people, places and things, or a death of a lifestyle, or a rebirth of becoming who you used to be. Coming out of dark depression, new opportunities. Now this deck that I'm using is the Faery Tarot deck by Radleigh, Valentine, Doreen, and the Faery Oracle by the Wild Wisdom of the Faery Oracle by Lucy Cavendish and artwork by Selena, Fenech. So this is transformation, coming from one phase to a new phase. You might be coming out of a long, dark night of the soul, is what I like to call it, where you've gone through something that's like an ego death. Moving forward, freedom to change, and ending that makes way for new opportunities, transformation, reincarnation. You can learn from the past and move forward, or you're going to be held back by it. This is true in every aspect. When an attachment to your personal history blocks you from progress and joy, it's time to release the past and go forth boldly in a new direction. Change is coming into your life, either anticipated or welcomed by you. Either way, change is imminent. It can be challenging to know that the future is a bright and magical one. Don't wait, take your first steps towards happiness. The beautiful peacock wings of our fairy and the white roses she keeps close at hand represent purity and immortality. The death card to me is a scorpion card. So you may be dealing with a scorpion if you're a fire sign, if you're an Aries, Aries, Sagittarian or Leo. And Scorpio is one to cut their losses, and once they decide that they no longer want to be with you, you've got a very hard time convincing them otherwise. They sting, and when they sting bad. So just be prepared for the whiplash that will happen if you do something to piss them off. I would never cross a scorpion, especially one that's got psychic abilities and does spell work. Those people I would highly avoid. So that being said, they can be obsessive, possessive, and controlling. And very, 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 very gifted. And they know what you're thinking before you even voice it. Or they know what you're trying to do before you even do it. So there's no fooling a scorpion. What you've got around you is the Two of Wands. Two opportunities that you're coming into. Two possibilities, a bright future. Partnering with others who share your dreams, great progress is being made. So you may want to partner up with someone who's in the spiritual realm or in the spiritual community to help establish your up-and-coming progress, your ability to grow your own business. So you may need a little leg up from someone that you know, that you might be friends with in another community, whether it be religious, spiritual, or otherwise. You also have dealings or could be involved with the LGBTQ community as well. In the past, you've got the High Priestess, so it's trusting your intuition, careful reflection before taking action. So Sagittarius, Aries, and Leo. I've got a Sagittarius moon, so there's my fire. And it's saying in the past that you've got an ability to walk and meditate. And when you walk and meditate, that's when you get visitations from past over loved ones. You can get visitations from future events or past events, and it could be in the same vision. And so when these things happen, you need to calm your mind, careful reflection, and just let these things come through. And so when you're very psychic, you need to make sure you have enough light to bring into the dark. And if you've got all that lightness, people get jealous of it and want to take it from you. So you've got to be careful who you attach yourself to, or who you have surrounding you. And in order to get rid of negative energy, you need to use spell work if you need to, protection spells if need be, and carry on your person things like black obsidian, tiger's eye, amplified intuition, and lapis. Lapis is for intuition. You can have the 3 of them on your person. They will help to balance out any negative energies that are trying to stop you from doing what you want to do, or just be a pain in the ass to you. And trust me, these people will get their karma, because what goes around comes around. You don't need to do any bad spell work on them or curses on them, because they'll just fall into their own heap. Light always covers darkness. Light always cracks open darkness. And if you need to, put some rose quartz all over your places where you reside. And it can be light or it can be dark rose quartz. You've recently come out of a separation, either separating from a partner, loved one, or separating from family and friends, or just had a very big heartbreak where you're grieving someone or something from your past. This is a recent past. It's pain, it's heartache, it's grief, and grief takes a long time to work through. I've done some grief counselling recently, and it's been a very big struggle. You could have separated from an air sign, an Aquarian, Gemini, or Libra, or someone with that in their chart, whether it's be your rising sign, or whether it be they have a moon or a trine. I know I'm Aquarian, but I've also got a Gemini trine, and I've got Libra in my 10th house. Okay, that fell out. So this person is knowledgeable, they're experienced, they're fair-minded, they're unemotional, they're good public speakers, so you can have along to do your wedding speech. They've got great for advice, they're professional, they're objective, but they're unemotional. So you might want to be romantic, and they kind of think that's stupid. They could be romantic, but it's got to be when it suits them. They're more happy to be surrounded by books and art and drawings than people. They're not cold, they're just detached, and they remain that way. They're very intelligent. You have great conversations, but witty conversations, though. The 3 of Spring is to do with plan your next steps with an eye to the long term. Have patience. There are more good things to come. Satisfaction from a job well done. This is in your future, so that's good. Your ships will come in. It's like you've got 3 boats, and they're all being cast out to sea. You're waiting to hear from a positive one coming back, and it's saying that your 3 ships will come back, and you'll have 3 possible jobs to choose from, or projects to choose from. At the moment, you've got several choices. The 7 of Wands is to do with trying to work on your money, working on your career, working on getting degrees, accolades, working on your own business. It's like you've got all these things pulling on you at once, and you've got to decide which of these ones you're going to give your energy to. You can't juggle all of it, and if you think that they're going to stay there forever, they won't. It'll be just like fairy dust. It will just disappear. You can't really make major decisions at the moment. I think you've got a block, or something's been put on hold for a decision to come out, your verdict to be decided, because I think you're being examined by a group of scientists, some of you, but others you could be being spied upon, and maybe you're under surveillance for a reason. People are trying to find out what you're doing, what you're up to, and I think being Scorpion, you'll know. If you've got Scorpio in your chart, like I have, and I've got the Sagittarius moon, I'll sense when there's someone trying to spy on me, and then I will just find a way to be anonymous or move without people tracking my whereabouts. Renewal. Now this is to do with reviewing the past and present. It's a judgment card. Planning a bright new future. Releasing judgments of yourself and others. So you may have been very judgmental in the past, and now you're looking through it under a different lens. Maybe you're looking at life through no longer rose-coloured glasses, or no longer with ill contempt, but you're looking through it as the reality of why people behave the way they do, of what they've been through themselves, in order to understand. A call to fulfill your destiny, understanding your life purpose. It's here for a review. Take note of what you have learned in life so far. Where do you want to go next? You're in a moment when you can truly reinvent yourself and build the future you want. However, to successfully arrive at your destination, you'll need a very good map. Visualize your happiness and possible future, and start making the appropriate steps. Help a friend to plan out your journey with you. Pay attention to flashes of inspiration and original creative ideas. These epiphanies are part of your life purpose and are meant to guide you on your way to joy. Our fairies are joined by Joseph of Arimathea and the guardian of the Holy Grail in Glastonbury. And the rabbit and butterfly in the card symbolise springtime. A call to fulfill your destiny. Maybe you finally found a calling as far as your job goes, or your calling could be being an intuitive reader. Like I was watching on YouTube this morning, and I posted it on my Facebook profile, about how she first got her abilities when she was like 11 or 12, and how she moved her bed from one side of the room to the other. Just something in her made her do that. And then when she did that, within, I think, minutes, a car crashed through the side of her house. If she hadn't have had that ability, she would be dead. So she listens to her abilities and she relies on them. And she says, even if I don't know why I don't like that person, I get this knowing and I sense the need to pull back. And if you feel like this around anyone or anything, that is your intuition talking. Now she goes on to saying about children and how they are very in tune, they're very naturally gifted when they're little, but they lose that as they get older because they're told that it's silly and not to believe in it and it's just a dream. Actually, it's not just a dream. We all have access to our intuition, but most people just don't choose to listen to it, or they just brush it off as a dream. Now, most people get impressions of people and places and things if they've got psychometry, which is what I do. I pick energy up by touching things. It'll come through like within 3 hours of touching something, or it will come through in my sleep, and yeah, it's constant. So I'm about 3 hours out, and sometimes I'm about 20 years out, and sometimes I can see 20 years in front, and sometimes I can see like 2 years in front, 2 or 3 years in front. Or if it's a really strong event, it's like I think I got my vision on Sunday, and it came through yesterday, either Tuesday or Wednesday. What I had seen in a vision, and my mum told me about it. It was on the news, and it was to do with someone trying to fire shots at the kingdom where Charles is about to do the coronation. So, I told the right people, I told the authorities, I told my psychologist, I told her back about it. Oh, geez, it would have been, this happened about 2 or 3 weeks ago when I had COVID. I got this really bad impression, and it made me physically ill because I was so worried that could happen. So then we've got here the Six of Pentacles. Now, this is to do with receiving gifts, the good that comes back to you, inflow of money, borrowing wisely, or repaying a debt. So some people may have given things to you in the past, whether it be favours or food or gifts, and you want to repay that by doing volunteer work to give back to the community that gave to you when you needed help. When I was in a shelter, I got given food, and I got given a bag of a beautiful bag with toiletries and things, and I just was so shocked and embarrassed to take it, but I needed it, and I was so grateful, and and so I always talk highly of Nova, but also I've been doing some group work with Got Your Sister Back, which covers domestic violence, and they gave me lots of food to take home when I was in shelters, and also they gave me, when I did a program on how to defend myself against sharks, people that just want to take from you. You learn to set boundaries. They used to give us little presents to encourage us, and I was always very grateful. I didn't want to take things, but they used to give us like gifts and things when we completed the program, and I just think that's wonderful. So I've been trying to volunteer at least once a month with them, but I think it's really good to pay it forward and then pay it back. Then you've got the 6th of Spring. Now, the 6th of Spring is to do with the Ticket Tape Parade. So this is you coming victorious out the other end from this long journey, this long night of the soul, this death of an ego, this death of your old life. You may be grieving things that you've lost. You might have lost your entire house, your car, your house, your car, your belongings, and there's a lot of loss, there's a lot of grief, and I think a lot of people went through that with COVID. And so now we're starting to hopefully cycle up back to a place where everyone's starting to get on track, get jobs going, getting help from the government with these Get Skill courses. Like, I think it's really good that we're starting to get back to a good place. So the crystals I would be using here today would be the King of Winter, and that's the Aquarian Libra Aquarius. They live in their head, they're cerebral, so they constantly oscillate and overthink stuff and don't do things because they're overthinking on them too much. So I would recommend the amethyst crystal for that particular sign that's crowning you. And then you've got, as I said, the tiger's eye for protection. It works with fire and element. And then you've got the black obsidian and for intuition to enhance that. You've got the lapis, which is Egyptian, comes from Egypt. So if you've got ties to Egypt, like I do, I've got a strong affinity with it. Always been drawn to it. Used to dream about the Black Sea when I was young. I used to dream about a temple where I was walking inside this pyramid and I had a blue robe on and I was addressing in a congregation. Yeah, as a past life memory. We all have them. Sometimes some people remember them and other people don't. So then we've got the next deck, which is the Wild Wisdom of the Faery Oracle. And I pulled this out earlier. I'm going to pull it out again. So this is what I pulled when I tried to do it before. The Grail Fairy. So this is to do with new life, resurrection, and possibly your, some people, fertility can represent. The return of healthy lifestyles. You may have been unwell recently, and you're now going to start to eat healthy, fix your diet, fix your exercise, and then your sleep will also follow suit after that. So it's talking about getting healthy mind, body, soul, and spirit. Merging yourselves to create something new, acceptance and delight and love of emotion, new life, flow of stasis, drink more water, hang around the river, ponds and bodies of water and sacred wells to calm those emotions and those hormonal shifts. And then you've got mother and daughter, which is appropriate because we're coming into Mother's Day. So it's healing the mother and daughter relationship. There may have been a separation in the past and you're now becoming mother and daughter again. If you had a breakdown in a family relationship or a breakdown with your relationship with your mum, 41. And that happens. We go through life and we have to go and learn these lessons, and we fight and argue and hopefully make up and understand each other's point of view. You're teaching, you're sharing knowledge, you're nurturing your self-worth. And most Leos, and stuff I know of, are very good teachers. I've noticed that. Time to spend an afternoon where your parents and your children take them somewhere natural and teach them gently the ways of the fairy world. Do this through connection with the earth, what springs from her, the sky, what flies through her, the sea, and what swims beneath in the fiery sun, and what grows from her power. Yes, indeed, the sun is goddess too. Think of Brienne, the Irish dragon fae, goddess of solar energy. Think about how to teach your children how to be themselves, offering opportunities for natural wisdom. Offer to spend time with children, teaching meditation, flower law, nature loving, and animal wisdom, and let your mother and father know you think of them and care for them, and thank them for all their teachings. Love your children and know that you are the most important teachers ever. Your first teacher is your mum and your dad. And that's what it's saying. So you may be trying to heal a relationship with a water sign as well. I think I pulled up water. It was crossing in the reading I did before, which is a cup, which is to do with Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. So your parent may have had that in their chart. So I'm sorry the other one didn't work out, but I do remember what it had in it, and that the crossing your path was a healing of a relationship with a parent or parents. And that's all I have for you today for the sign of the fire sign, sun,